to my channel. If you're new here, I'm an incoming third-year med student. Yes, and I enjoy making videos about anything related to being a med student and my other hobbies as well. So you can find me in almost all social media platforms, and I also have a Facebook group called PALABAN Doks. So do join, follow, and subscribe for more. So in today's video, I'll be sharing with you my first year medical school life, things you have to expect, and the difference between online and face-to-face classes. Of course, there are also my personal tips on how you will deal with studying the subject. I got a few videos uploaded about my first year experience, so you go check it out if you want to. But now, I just wanted to make a new video solely since I've experienced it already. So let's start. I will be dividing this video into topics like what to do before the start of classes, what to expect upon entering med school, what are the subjects and tips, what's the difference between online versus face-to-face, and my advice for all of these. So the question is, what do you have to do after you enroll into your dream school? My answer is nothing. Just enjoy your summer break, and if you are really curious about it, you can check videos like these on YouTube so that you will have an overview about it. You can also ask your friends who went to med school for their experience. So next question is, do I have to buy a laptop and or an iPad? Well, it depends on the situation. If you are not into digital note-taking, then a laptop is a good investment since online classes are still being held via Zoom meetings or other online meeting apps. You can also finish your assignments comfortably and answer exams without worrying about the device performance issues. But if you want to try digital note-taking and don't want to spend a huge amount of money on books, then an iPad or tablet is for you. When it comes to online classes, you can still use the iPad to enter Zoom meetings. You can make your assignments, but I suggest purchasing an affordable keyboard for typing. So it looks like this. I got this from Shopee for less than 500 pesos. I'll put the link below. And you can use this for the meantime. Also for the school supplies, I don't think you have to buy a lot because of online classes. If you are into pens and papers for studying, you can buy highlighters, memo pads, a planner, ball pens, a ream of bond paper, and a printer also. Then you are now good to go. Okay na yan. In my case, I chose to go for digital studying because marami kaming chances, mahal yung books, and easy access siya for me. But it really does take time para masanay ka na mag-aral with it. Whatever works for you, so wisely spend money one purchase at a time. Get ako yan. Next is what you should expect when you enter med school. Expect that classes will start right away. Yes. Before classes will start kasi, may mga group chats yan or FB page na mag-give ng brief orientation for you guys. Or hold an event wherein you'll be given an overview of what the med school life looks like in that school. So, bibigyan kayo ng schedule and all the subjects. So, sa first week pa lang, may bibo talaga yung subject na the moment they finish that 1-hour orientation wherein they tell you the grading system and the subtopics, they will start the first lecture right away. I swear. Also, next expectation is that there will be people who will be competitive and medyo pabibo. But my advice for you is to keep things cool. Make your environment a non-toxic and supportive one. Kung kaya mo mag-initiate na mag-share ng notes, then go for it. Remember, monkey see, monkey do. I tell you, if one will do it, then others will do it also. And in the long run, your batch or class will become a good support system wherein you guys will be able to lift each other up until you achieve your empty dreams. So, I advise to cut off the toxicity and become a student that will be happy for other people's success. So, happy lang, okay? Just be humble in everything that you do and stay out of the idea of being insecure with your grade. Your only enemy in medicine is the person that you were yesterday, okay? So, halos siguro ng mga med students na kilala ko, naka-experience na feeling nila bobo sila pagdating sa med school. Yes, mangyayari yan. So with that, my mantra in life is to be proud of feeling that bobo in you because in that area, makaka-realize ka ng mga mistakes mo, and you should be willing to improve on it, unlike feeling matalino ka, di mo na alam kung saan ka nagkamali. So, be a bobo that is willing to learn kasi talo ang mga matalino sa hardworking na bobo. Next is expect that the subject departments will be demanding, and with that, I suggest to start that activity right away that they are requiring you to do. Kasi if you don't, magpapatong-patong yan for sure. If you finish the tasks earlier, yung aaralin mo na lang ang problemahin mo. And also, do not strive for perfection when it comes to your workbooks. All you have to do is just to do what is said in the rubrics, enough for you to get a good grade, because it will take a lot of your time unless you are creative and fast enough to do such. Next expectation is expect to fail. Ito talaga yung pinaka di ko na-expect, because back in college, I thought that basta mag-study ka lang, papasa ka talaga. But here in med school, kahit mag-aral ka dyan magdamag or night owl ka dyan, hindi talaga guaranteed na papasa ka. Well, I don't know why, but that's the truth. That's the reality. That's why, always advise ng mga doctors namin to do your best. Why? Because when you do your best, di ka mag-regret sa mga bagay na di mo nagawa kasi yan na ang kaya mo. But if you got a failing score, try your best to ask for help and learn how to change your study habit. Know if you can study alone or with a group, visual, auditory ka ba na learner, or both. Basta depende sa'yo. So another expectation is, of course, obviously, your time will be precious. Time management is the key to it. Know what you need to study, want to do, and your environment, lalo na ngayon na online class. So tell your parents that you have an exam, na di ka pwedeng madistorbo, plan out what you have to study, and may event ba sa bahay niyan, mga birthday. So with that, helpful na magkaroon ka din ng planner, whether handwritten or sa gadgets mo. So, sa akin, may app ako, tas may planner din ako para makikita ko din siya once I look at my phone, and makita ko din siya once I'm on my table na. An exception will be if you are away from your family, lalo na if face-to-face classes. So, yun nga mga sinasabi nila na you will miss out on a lot of family events. So, just suck it all in, and masasanay ka din. You will be fine eventually. And accept that reality that you should prioritize your MD dreams first. There are many ways to plan your study time, but for sure, the most common enemy of it is your gadgets. Yes, guilty ako niyan. And I think I already self-diagnosed myself as a social media addict. Di ba ang hirap mawala sa phone mo, lalo na ngayong online classes? You never want to miss out any announcements and other ganaps in life. So I'll speak out the ways on how I deal with it na sustainable for me. So, 1, when you study, I don't want to say na to put away all your gadgets because that is the hardest thing to do, promise. So, face your enemy para masanay ka. So, disclaimer, you just need one little effort to do this and then you will be on a study loop. Okay? So, what you need is your phone, earphones or headphones, and a note, memo, or any small paper. So, okay, hear me out. I get my phone, I go to the Forest app, turn on deep focus mode para whenever you go out from the app, your tree will die or any application that will leave you in regret if you will leave the app. Pwede naman timer, basta, ayun, Forest gamit ko. Next is, I will put on my headphones or earphones ba to either listen to music or not. And yung papel, itabi mo yun dyan sa gilid. Then just start studying for an hour. Bigyan mo sarili mo mag-aral for an hour. Okay? Yes, may mga minutes na you'll be distracted by the notifs. But whenever you experience it, go back to your paper and write down what you want to do after you study. At least, di ba, makakaaral ka na ng 1 hour or 2. And alam mo na kung anong gagawin mo during the break. Kung alam nyo lang kung gaano kahirap siyang simulan, but like what I told you, if you're in it, you're already in a loop. But if this one will not work for you, then I will try my best to think on other ways that you should do. But sa mga people out there na nakaka-focus agad, sana all. And you guys, please comment down to help out others and answer, how are you able to study without being distracted? So, comment it down, okay? If you ask me if there are times that I fail doing it, of course, I admit. But so far, this has been the effective way of how I focus kasi if I purchase a timer gadget lang alone, I will just be easily distracted to get my phone. Unlike using my phone as a timer, in that way, I am aware that the clock is ticking and I should study. So let's move on to the subjects. Ito yung pinakahihintay nyo, di ba? So this will be based on the UERM website, and for sure, ito din naman yung mga subjects sa first year. And these are anatomy, physiology, biochemistry, patient-doctor relationship 1 or PDR, epidemiology, disease prevention control, BPC, HLC or human life cycle, and HPM or history and perspective in medicine. So of course, we will be focusing on the major subjects, the trio, anatomy, physiology, and biochem. So the subject that I find difficult, of course, was anatomy. Yes, it is interesting and has a lot to do with visual learning kasi visual learner ako. But it's just that it's a lot. Ang dami nga aralin. So, you'll be studying literally from head to foot ng tao. Then, all the insides will be tackled. So, in anatomy, masaya siya, especially sa laboratory class because you'll be dealing with cadavers kapag face-to-face. But if not, you will be forced to study online videos for it. Na-experience ko siya because second sem naman yung pandemic and we were not able to look at the gross of the human brain. But the other parts, we already experienced it. So sa anatomy, you have lectures and laboratory classes. So what you discuss in lecture will also be tackled in the lab. So there will be an integration. So in our batch, we started with the upper limbs, lower limbs, back, then sa chest, thorax, towards the organs, then last was the brain or the neuro. May mga group discussions but not with anatomy alone. It's called Integrated Clinical Session, basta ICS, wherein we will be given a case by group. We will discuss it from anatomy, physio, and biochem's perspective. So in studying anatomy, you have to know the basics first, like knowing the planes, and movements. For me, studying the muscles is really tough because you won't be dealing only with the muscles alone. You will also have to know the oina, or origin, insertion, nerve, and action. Also, blood supply pa pala. So, in our school, di masyadong finofocus ang origin and insertion, but there will be rare times na tinatanong talaga siya. Pero, yung obvious din naman. But sa nerve and blood supply, Diyos ko, kailangan mo siyang aralin. And also, you have to know its action. Because in the exam, they will give you a case. For example, si ate mo girl daw, pagtatanggalin yung hook ng bra niya, anong muscle ang ginagamit, and what action. And also, what helped me a lot is know what is usually asked. You know the thing? Okay? So, helpful yun, not to memorize, but to know where to target in studying. Okay? Start knowing that first. Check mo yon, and then integrate it on the topic that you are studying. Also, what helped me is to get images from the Google Images. Yes. I swear, may mga pictures talaga na mas maayos pagkagawa, and I thumb it all into a file. Lagay ko dito. Kasi in that way, if ever mag-mental block ka, God forbid, you can still picture out the location using your own body. Basta use all the senses when you're studying. Make yourself an anatomical model. Kung pwede, para kang Titan, sige go. Hawakan mo yung sarili mo, kung saan papunta yung muscle na yon, ganyan. If ever tatanungin nyo ako on what websites, apps, and videos, so I will recommend the app Anatomy 2021. May kamahalan, but worth it naman. It's around 1K plus per year, but if you are on the budget, go for teachmeanatomy.info and Netter's video in YouTube. So, yan. Sa histo naman, yes, maraming nahihirapan dito. Even though I have a background, kasi medtech, but it's still not an exception. So, my tip for this is know first what organ and function yung histo's like. Kahit yung basic function lang. Like, for example, the alveoli has a simple squamous epithelium. So, to be able for you to understand and retain this information, know that an alveoli is the functional unit of our lungs, which is an organ for respiration. And the alveoli is responsible for the exchange of gases via diffusion from high concentration to low concentration. Kaya yung tissue niya is simple squamous kasi manipis, Only one layer para mabilis ang exchange of gases. So, ganun ka mag-aral. So, learn to study smart in anatomy kasi if you don't have a strategy for it, it will be hard for you. References will be Moore, Snell's Near Anatomy, and Netter. Let's go with physiology. So in physiology, I find it enjoyable kasi magaling din mag-discuss ng mga profs namin. So physiology is about how the body works, and with that, it needs understanding. So in studying this one, you should relate it with what you study in anatomy for the structures, then always ask yourself the whys when it comes to physio. So I suggest na you will teach yourself in your own words kasi when you build a good foundation in physio, it is very helpful na pagdating mo sa second year and onward. The topics that I found hard is cardio and respi. Then surprisingly, good in renal. Di ko alam bakit. Usually, chances talaga ako. The exam will be challenging, so understanding the concepts is a good way to deal with it. So, no face-to-face, may laboratory siya wherein we do nerve conduction tests, phlebotomy, and many more. The reference books for physio will be Guyton and Hall, Byrne and Levy, Constanzo, Boron, and Gano. Then let's talk about my favorite subject, biochemistry. Ay my God, mahirap din siya guys. The subject na di ako sure kung natutunan pa ako. Kada tapos ng exam, parang poof, nawala na yung mga nainaral ko. But I will try my best to give you tips on this subject. So in biochemistry, my lab and lec kami. So my experiments, group discussions, and GIT forum wherein we cook meals and designed a presentation sa lab. In studying biochemistry, you should memorize first the metabolic pathways of the body kasi yun yung essential. Yung Krebs cycle, glycolysis, glycogenesis, and incorporate it with your own understanding. Dapat marunong ka mag-connect the dots sa lahat ng pathways na yon. Know also by heart ang mga enzymes, basta yung may words na may ASE sa last part. So, yan, aralin mo kung anong classification siya na belong. Also, yung fed, feeding, and starving states. Kung anong nangyayari sa isang katawan ng isang tao. So, understand this one kasi may mga cases din na ibibigay. Mas maraming competition dito sa second sem. Kasi magko-compute kayo ng BMI, PCR, mga macros, yung mga carbs, proteins, and fat. Well, advantage ito sa mga ND and mga biochem majors. So, I didn't read the book. I just relied on my chances, some other learning materials, and do some note-taking on my iPad. References will be Harper's, Lippincott's, and Mark's. So, I'll talk briefly sa minors. So, kung sa PDR, it will be What Would Jesus Do? So, carry na yan siyang ikram. Just kidding. But the next is epidemiology and DPC. It is in the same department. Yung DPC will be first sem and epidem will be sa second sem. So never ever forget studying it kasi mahirap din sila magtanong. So study well with this one. Introduction lang siya sa research, sa mga epidemiology din na FAQS, and you will be fine. So next is human life cycle. It's just an overview from birth to getting old, or geriatric. Just study the trances and madali naman siyang aralin. Then in HPM, I enjoyed this minor subject kasi our doctor likes to put a lot of visuals in his PowerPoint. Naglalagay siya ng mga stories about the history of medicine, mga what we don't know about it, trivias, and fun facts. It was nice encountering this subject and it's just also easy. So, memorize lang siya. Then for the next topic of this video is the difference between online classes and face-to-face. So what has changed? Well, of course, it changed a lot in our educational system. So things were pretty much overloaded because people may think we are just at home doing nothing. Kaya nakakatambak-tambak talaga lahat yung mga gagawin. Unlike before. So online class was harder than I thought. Yes, akala ko talaga okay lang siya kasi nasa bahay lang kami. So before, we have laboratory classes wherein we can actually interact with the cadavers and models, but now we can only rely with the videos that are given to us. Also, group discussions turned out into breakout rooms wherein we discuss the case with a doctor and integrate our knowledge from different subjects. And also, what has changed is group works. My God, I can't stress this one out. Ang hirap talagang makipag-coordinate pag di-responsive ang mga tao. So, do expect having classmates like that. Noon, we do meetings sa mga benches, discussion rooms, or coffee shops. But Ngayon, Google Docs na lang alone and Messenger wherein di ka sure kung may tumulong ba sa project na yun or nakatambay lang dyan siya sa Google Docs. So, learn to divide the work, be cooperative, and patient with each other. Yung gusto ko lang siguro sa online class is the asynchronous session wherein you are free to study and also yung mga ISP, independent study period. So you can study whatever you want and listen to offline lectures na pwede mong bilisan mga 2 times or 4 times. But when it comes to subjects na interesting, mamimiss mo talaga, it's really good to be in a face-to-face lectures kasi may interaction and you get to meet your classmates as well. And tulog sa class. Charot. Live return demonstration videos turn into video submissions. Kaya, editing in online classes is already a life skill. So, if you're wondering what apps I use for editing videos, I usually use iMovie or the VLLO app. It's paid, kaya I suggest starting with iMovie muna kasi it's free. For Android users, you can use InShot and Filmargo is great to use. Okay, for the last part of this video is my advice for the incoming med students like you. So, 1 is to manage your time well. Any app or planner will do. Second is, always ko talagang ina-advise to. It is to start strong. Mag-ipon talaga kayo ng grades kasi in the next exams, it will be harder. For example, if you started enough, like naka 85 ka, okay na yan. Pwede kang magsimula pababa or magsimula pataas yung grades mo, depending on your performance. Unlike getting 75 in your first long exam, you will double effort to get higher than that. So, sa school namin, sa UERM, there will be 6 long exams, 3 siya each semester. So, mas marami kang chance para makabawi. So, do well on your exams. The next advice is to make friends. No man is an island in med school. Spend time with your classmates, especially group mates, kasi sila na yung makakasama mo hanggang internship. So, have a good and supportive relationship with them. So, yun nga, cut off the toxicity. And next is join different organizations that you're interested in. So it's good to step up your game and meet new friends from different section and year levels because through it you can do activities that will help the student body. Next is take breaks. Do what you want to do kasi once you enter medicine, it will be a lifelong learning journey. And just be happy with what you're doing even though you're in medicine. Just know what to prioritize and that will help you grow and learn managing your time. And next is don't be scared to try techniques that works for you. Wag na wag kayong ma-pressure sa face ng iba. So just do your best at your own time and eventually masasanay ka din and you will find your momentum. And last one is you don't need to buy all the books. It is really expensive. So ask first what is your main reference in your school and I suggest to just buy one and download the others in a PDF format. So for the med schools like UERM, chances are already helpful in passing the exam. By the way, I will put the link all the PDF books that I have for the first year, okay? Para makapag-prepare kayo. So that's it. I hope marami kayong matutunan sa video na to and somehow helped you in getting an overview for your first year med experience. So enjoy and make the most out of it. If ever you have questions, comment down below or just send me a message on Instagram. I also have an FB support group, link below, and please do interact whenever I post one or sa mga admins. Baka naiyak kayo or something. Wag na kayong mahiya. Willing naman ako tumulong at lahat ng mga andon. Thank you po so much for supporting this channel. Wala po ito without you guys. Pasensya if there will be times na matagal ako makakapag-upload, lalo na ngayon. I'm studying kasi for our comprehensive exam wherein we will study from the very beginning in first year up to the subject sa second year. So, don't worry. I'm mostly active in FB group, Instagram, and TikTok. But I will try my best na may mga ma-upload ako every month. Basta sa isang month, kahit once or twice, yun. And don't forget to like and subscribe and click notification down below to keep you guys updated on my next video. I'll see you guys soon. Comprehensive muna kami, so I'll be out for a bit. Laban mga doc. Stay safe!